we'll now take a look ahead and talk about peace which comes from within. Because the peace on a larger scale, like communal harmony, or in the sense that the calm that we talk about, cannot come in the society if the peace that we talk about is not coming from within, if we are conflicted in our own minds. The pandemic has, among a lot of things, has uh, increased these discourses on the importance of mental health, and why do we need to practice mindfulness, and why do we need to do retrospection and think, why are things this way right now? So I think after talking about peace on a very broader and larger scale, we need to take a step further and think about peace that comes from within. And for that, we have a very interesting talk coming up by a speaker all the way from the country of Malawi, which is in the east of Africa. So I would like to introduce all of you to Mr. Masankho Banda. I would talk a little bit about Masankho Banda because he's a very interesting personality. He is a storyteller, a healer, a drummer, dancer, interplay leader, educator, peace messenger. He has a degree in theatre and dance arts and master's degree in arts and creation spirituality. He wishes to bring about peace, social justice, cultural spiritual healing by motivating people around the world despite of their ages, their ethnicities, or their nationalities. He has started You Can Dance African Healing Arts in 1997 to bring his passion for dance and storytelling to communities around the world. A certified interplay leader since 1999, he was awarded Unsung Hero of Compassion Award by none other than His Holiness Dalai Lama. Mr. Banda, we are more than honored and glad to have you here with us today, joining for this discussion. So without any further ado, I am handing over the platform to you for you to talk about your idea and insights about peace.
Thank you. Dakuona, 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 moni, dakuona, 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 moni, dakuona, 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 moni. I see you, I see you, I see you, and I say hello to you. Thank you so much for having me on this panel discussion on this very important day, the International Day of Peace. Thank you to the DIRS for recognizing that this is a day that should be celebrated, and a day on which we can reflect our individual yet global role in the desire for peace. Thank you, Priyanka, for your very impassioned stand for peace. As you have so aptly said, peace crosses all aspects of life. The organization Pathways to Peace, on which I have served for the past 30 years, understands that in education, in law, in housing, in agriculture, in business, all of these aspects of life, peace is important. This song that I opened with, Ndakuona, is a song that I composed on a request. I was living in Oakland, California, and a school teacher who knew that I was a storyteller, said, "Come to our school and share with our children a message of peace." And she specifically said, "The issue we would like you to address is one of rampant bullying. Students who were being bullied because they looked different from other students." So I thought to myself, what am I going to do? And I thought, let me create a story that illustrates what bullying can do to a young boy or to a young girl. Now, I'm not going to tell the story. If you want to see it, it is on YouTube. If you just put my name, Masankho Banda, on YouTube, you will find the story. It's about the boy who did not belong. So I went to the school, and there was almost 800 students. And I told this story of the boy who did not belong. And when I had finished telling the story, I sang the song that I opened with. Ndakuona, ndakuona, ndakuona moni. In my language, ndakuona means I see you. Moni means hello. But we were taught as children that when we see each other, we must not see each other with our eyes. We must see each other with our hearts, because the heart does not see the color of one's skin. The heart does not see what you are wearing. The heart does not see where you pray. The heart does not see how you do your hair. All the heart sees is fellow human being. So as you can see in the dance, I go, Ndakuona. I see you with my eyes through my heart, and I stand before you, fellow human being. And I greet you with respect. When we clap like this in Africa when greeting each other, it is a sign of deep respect. So I told the story of the boy who did not belong, the boy who was bullied because he was different. But in the end of the story, I sang this song, and I told them this interpretation. A young man came up to me and he said, "Mr. Banda, thank you so much. I am a bully. I have bullied the Hispanics because I do not understand them. And instead of taking the time to learn more about them, I chose the easiest route and just bullied the Hispanics." Another girl came up to me and said, "Mr. Banda, thank you so much. I bully those who are differently abled. Instead of understanding how they are differently abled and learning their story, I chose the easy way out and bullied them. I now see that they are a fellow human being just like me. Before I left, at least 7 to 8 students came to me and said, "Thank you for showing us in such an easy, simple, kind and compassionate way that bullying is taking away somebody's peace. That bullying is making somebody feel like they are less than. And as Priyanka has so eloquently and passionately said, when we do that, we are taking away a person's ability to live their life. Under the auspices of Pathways to Peace, my work has taken me to Brazil. And when I was in Brazil, I need to stand up to do this because we are standing up for peace. When I was in Brazil, I met children who lived in the favelas. And even though we had a language difficulty, when I sang this song with them, they all started to cry and said, Masankho, you are not seeing our poverty. You are not seeing our tattered clothes. You are seeing a fellow human being. From this day on, I will not see myself as poor. I will see myself as a human being. Then, under the same auspices of Pathways to Peace, under the amazing guidance of Avon Madison, who's the founder, who in actual fact was one of the main people that brought together the International Day of Peace, I went to Croatia. And I spent 3 weeks with refugees who were fleeing the war in that area, Serbia, Croatia, after the breakup of Yugoslavia. And again, I sang this song with the kids as they told me untold stories of the destruction of war. And even across the United States, in South Carolina, in Mississippi, when I would go to communities of African Americans, of Native Americans, and they would recount to me the horrors of what they had suffered, I would sing this song to them and with them, using interplay, what I'm doing just now, a interactive, creative, interactive modality that allows us to be with each other, which was devised by Phil Porter and Cynthia Winton Henry in Oakland, California, as a way of bringing people together. So under my learnings of peace, under Pathways to Peace, and my teachings of interplay and body wisdom, I sat and danced and shared stories. And each time I ended with this song. Dakuona, 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 moni. When we see each other with the heart, we understand that we are all human beings deserving of respect. And as Priyanka has said, in this time that we are in, we need even more to see each other with the heart. It was true during the AIDS pandemic. It was true during Ebola. It was true during SARS. And it is even true now with this COVID-19. And COVID-19 comes at a time when we are also dealing with racial equity and transformation. Something else that Body Wisdom, in its wisdom as an organization, has embraced, that there needs to be racial equity and transformation. That there needs to be a time on the planet where we see each other as fellow human beings. The other day, I wrote on my Facebook page, if we have learned nothing else from this pandemic, let us understand this. The pandemic does not see where you were born. The pandemic does not see how much money you have in your bank account. The pandemic does not see what letters you have before or after your name. The pandemic does not see where you pray on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, or whatever day of the week it is that your particular religious calling prays. The pandemic does not see any of that. All the pandemic sees is this is a human being that I can attack. So if there's nothing else we have learned from this pandemic, and as Priyanka said, no, it should not be social distancing. It should be physical distancing. Let us keep 1 meter apart from each other so that we don't transmit, but let us keep our humanity intact. When somebody is compromised with the virus, let's find a way to safely reach out and make sure they're taken care of. And when they are okay, let us then make sure that we don't shun them. Let's keep each other in our hearts. Let's keep each other in our prayers. Whether you pray on Friday, whether you pray on Saturday, whether you pray on Wednesday, let's pray for each other. And in this time of Black Lives Matter, we need to turn this ship around. Bob Marley, in his amazing prophetic song titled War, says, until such time when the color of my skin does not determine how you treat me, there will be war. Until such time as where I grew up and where I was born makes no difference in how you treat me, there will be war. And on this day, as we celebrate peace that was fashioned those many years ago by organizations like the United Religious Initiative, Pathways to Peace, the UN, League of Nations, all of those people that came together and said, the world needs to change. Let us keep this in our minds today. It is time for change. So wherever you are, I invite you to sing with me. Ndakuona, 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 moni. Or sing in your language. I see you, I see you, I see you. Hello. I wish I could remember my high school French, but I don't remember my high school French. But sing in your language. If you're sitting with somebody, turn to them and go, Ndakuona, 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 moni, Ndakuona, 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 moni. Let us always see each other with our hearts, not with our eyes. Our eyes deceive us. Our eyes give us information that does not help us. Our heart sees only human being to human being. As I wrap up, as I did my work for Pathways to Peace, as I traveled, right now as I'm sitting here, I have been to almost 38 countries and 198 cities with my message of peace. And in all of those, the one thing that I learned is we all cry the same. We all laugh the same. We all feel. We are one human family. We are each other. I am grateful to Avon Madison and the whole family of Pathways to Peace that taught me so much. To Phil and Cynthia, who taught me this methodology of interplay, body wisdom, and active creative practice for transforming community. I am thankful for this platform where we can come together and remember that we are all human beings. One more time. Dakuona, 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 moni, dakuona, 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 moni. Thank you. I see you all. Thank you.
We see you too, Mr. Banda. That was very beautiful. I think when we talk about things such as peace, it's very rare that we link it with an idea as simple as looking at someone through our hearts and not through our eyes. And I think this sense of empathy is something that all of us need to work on, not only us as adults, but children, which are the impressionable minds. If we begin from a very young age to teach them this value of empathy and seeing someone from your own heart and not your eyes, and not distinguishing from something as trivial as a skin color, I think it's a thought that if not inculcated, manifests into bigger issues such as racism or casteism. I think, and also the notion of involving art into this picture. I think the end goal of any art, be it a visual one, be it a writing one, it is in the end the liberation of mind. And using that idea of liberation, not only for the person who creates the art, but also people who see that art, is very inspiring. And I think all of the audience members have really pondered over that. And I really want people to think about whether you yourself create art or whether you want to appreciate art, try to find peace within that art, and how can we take our abilities to manifest this idea of harmony through whatever we do. So thank you so much for those very beautiful and I think that song is going to catch up now and I'm going to use that anywhere I go. So thank you so much for making us aware of this very beautiful and culturally enlightening session.